So, as the investigation into the Gene Hackman's death, big tragedy, in the United States, is unfolding, well, the rest of society, we are very much accepting the fact and very that it's very much is normal for an immediate family or children, whether this is to the mother or mom and dad or to your children, to have a at least a phone contact, um, at least once every 2 months. And I'm saying this because of the fact that one of the children of Gene Hackman's one of the daughters just told the news media that it was normal. I mean, that they were very close and very close to. She was very close to her father, Gene Hackman, and that she spoke to her dad at least once every couple of months, like or message, through the message, to text message, and there was a little exchange every couple of months. That was a very close, according to her, a close relationship. Can you really describe that as having a close relationship when you call every like 60 days to your 95-year-old dad? I'm not saying that's blaming that was the case, the cause of what happened, the tragedy of Gene Hackman. But it's very, we the rest of society, as the news keep unfolding, I mean, we are very much seeing this as a very much a normal thing, normal way of life. The relationship of children and fathers and moms and dads, and immediate siblings. And the same case, the second situation is when Betsy, the wife, which is also dead, in this tragedy. Um, she used to call, according to the housekeeper of the mother, Betsy's mother, who had dementia, live in a different location, of course, that this housekeeper told that it was normal that Betsy, the wife of Gene Hackman, used to call the mother and to get in touch, to get every couple of months also, like sometimes once a month, and that was very much normal to be close to her mother who has dementia, who was still alive, right? So the rest of society were accepting this as a normal way of life. I mean, think about that as we're learning more into the details of the investigation. So, a brief, reflection of what the state of our society is in the family relationship, the family structure. How close are we really are? I mean, as we think this evening, as we, you know, have dinner with the family dinner, we should ask how close are we really are to our immediate family. I mean, your wife or your husband or mom and dad or grandma, whatever the case may be. How really close you are? Is it just the technology thing? A message, a text message and a call text message, because text message is very cold. Of course, something is better than nothing, right? But what about taking mom and dad, to dinner, at least once a week if you can? Well, of course, we know people live in different states, people live far away for different circumstances, of course. But to make time, and especially if you have the means, the financial means to do it, right? Why not, right? So those two facts that are emerging in the last 24 hours from Gene Hackman's daughter and from the housekeeper of Betsy's mother who had dementia, it makes it's bizarre. I mean, it's almost insane to think about that being close, quote unquote, being close, meaning that you call only for a couple of minutes, a few minutes, just once every 2 months. I mean, that's normal. That's what that's what the way they're describing. These people describing in the news media. So big reflection this evening, and about the mummification, meaning mummification of the bodies of these two um, uh, famous celebrities in what happened in just 6 days ago in Santa Fe, New Mexico, New Mexico. Um, According to the recent report, the last report, recent from the, for police department, they said that only one of the body was mummified, which means that because of the weather, because of the what how dry the weather is in the New Mexico area, well, a body was, went through the mummification process, which is, very much layman word, view, is a preservation of the body. It's a natural preservation of the body. Of course, mummification process can take place, you know, can be provoked to, can be, uh, can be used chemicals, chemical, nature to mummify a body. But if the temperature and the dry condition inside the house, uh, both of the bodies, the Gene Hackman and the wife Betsy was in the same location, in the same vicinity, with the same room temperature, with the same, and think about it, I mean, I know it's a winter time, but it's still dry temperature, right? And if it's summertime in New Mexico, it's just like in Arizona, a little bit close to Arizona, right? It could be have the similar weather, with heat and humid and things like that. But if right, both both of the bodies were in the same location, why just one of the body, was mummy? I mean, it took mummification process and not the other one. Why not the other one? Was it because one of the body is a younger body? Of course, she was 64 and he was 95. So is there a case, in which an older body older diseased body decompose faster, and it takes another, twist, it takes another way of decomposing, and not the younger but diseased body? Well, there's no proof on that. There's no scientific proof of that, of course. I mean, we all, as when we were born, we start dying, right? Our cells starts, in a way, dying. It's a dying process. We are born, and then as we end, comes the end of life, of course. But if both has, both of the disease body are in the same room temperature, and if they both almost, they're assuming that died in the same day, according to the, they're just assuming, of course, the investigation is in process, right? But the fact that both of the bodies were in the same location, uh, taking the same room temperature, of course, the dry, at noon, I mean, the temperature at noon inside a house is, of course, it's hot, of course, with the heat and with the sunlight and everything, right? But at 2 in the morning, temperature change anywhere, right? And a temperature change. And of course, if there was an air conditioning system on, because of course it's a winter time, or heating system, was the heating system on? They haven't yet mentioned about the heating system of the house. Of course, New Mexico is part of, it's very dry. It's a state where, it's just like Arizona and other southern states, right? Where most people don't use heating system, of course. But if that was the case, right? Remember that older, uh, elderly people use, I mean, even to take a shower, right? It takes a hot shower, to be a comfortable. I did work at the nursing home. At a nursing home, there was no way an 80-year-old or 75, 80-year-old can take. I gave shower to something after working three years, in 3 years at the nursing home. I helped give shower to elderly, 85 years old, 80 years old, 90 years old, and there was no way to get cold water on them. And if there was any by mistake, by accident, a cold water, came out the shower, it would be like a big scream, like a terrorized scream, the big, huge, scandal, huge situation in which, of course, my supervisor, the supervisor would come to the room. The screaming was so loud, right? By knowing that experience, of course, I'm sure that they live in that Santa Fe areas, locality, because of the weather. I mean, very much, the dry weather, summer weather, almost year long, all year round, So it's a total mystery of why just one of the body was mummified and the other was not. It's a mystery. We don't want to take this like a that is it this leading to an unsolved mystery case that as the time goes by, that's where things are very much moving into. Of course, I'm not saying that the forensic and pathologists or the Santa Fe County, and all, they're not doing the job. They're, of course, they are doing their job, and they have managed, um, high profile cases before. I'm not saying that they don't, they deserve credit for the good job they're doing, of course, but is this, forensic pathologists, the forensic department of this county, Santa Fe County, do they have the best of the best of the country, the heavyweights in this field, in the field of crime scene investigation? We're not saying it's a crime scene investigation yet, but it's basically is leading to that point. So far as it sounds like accidental death, or who knows, maybe purposely one of the two took pills overdose with pills, and there's only assumption at this point. But there if they say the county sheriff's office, they're conducting one investigation, and the pathologists the forensic department of their the examiner's office, the county they're conducting a different investigation. They're both at the same time, of course. One is scientific, and the other one, of course, is very much crime. Is taking into account that it is possible, that very much possible, is a crime scene. You know. Uh, Situation in which they have to bring, of course, the expert. Now, the one of the comments, one of the of the assumption is that because this county, remember the Alec Baldwin case in a movie setting where there was an accidental shooting with his weapon, and it was, of course, he was pronounced, he was accused of that situation, but of course the conclusion was that it was an accident. I mean, and of course the best expert in ballistic and all kinds of of course they gave their opinions about what happened there. Um, and of course, if we're saying that the Santa Fe County has they have experience dealing with high profile cases like it could be there is a reason to think that's the case, right? There is and this is the fact that, of course, in both cases, actually, in Gene Hackman case and Alec Baldwin, the actor Alec Baldwin in that movie set nearby the Santa Fe uh, County area, uh, they, of course, they are high profile celebrities, but do they have really a high heavyweights expert in uh, scientists, pathologists, and forensic experts from the country, from the whole country, from different academia? Maybe the guy from the Jacksonville State University can have an opinion and put the boots in the ground. If you really, if the county office, the Santa Fe County office has the budget, of course, the budget to bring heavyweights from around the country to the to solve this case, the case of Gene Hackman's case. They should bring, why not, bring the best of the best in the country, in pathologists, forensic experts, to solve this case, so it doesn't take long, to take too long, for the rest of the society to figure out what's really what happened here. But of course, in there are different experts. In the Alec Baldwin case, the experts were mostly ballistic experts, and of course, the scene, the crime scene, situation was different, because in the Alec Baldwin's case, there were witnesses. There were witnesses. The movie set, you have all kinds of directors, you have other actresses, actors, and many witnesses, that did testify, and of course they brought outside experts to testify in that court case, in that case, and of course in this case it's different, because there's the for weeks nobody knew that they were dead. I mean, they were dead uh, in their own home, and of course, we keep saying, we keep, that people in the community in the Santa Fe area, they keep saying that these couple were revered members of the community. So if they were revered and respected and loved member of the community, how come nobody did call? I mean, nobody, trying to find out about what's going on with them. I mean, just as simple, if they were, very much important a member of the cultural community, the artistic community, Santa Fe area, uh, why not nobody had any, for weeks went by, and nobody knew what was going on. They've been dead. One of the body decomposing, and the other one was mummified. I mean, mummified is a preservation of the body, of course. So the mystery continues, and of course, they say, well, the neighborhood security of the area. Of course, they were really concerned about. They didn't see any. They didn't see any like movement, like, or any people visiting, the house, or any much, not too many activities around the house. We're talking about maybe these neighborhood security, they call it. Could be neighborhood watch, in many places, many suburbs, many communities in the United States, with the crime rate, you know ballooning and exploding in many areas. People take things in their own hands. I mean, people organize, of course. They organize themselves about how to be, you know, checking out, the neighborhood. Who's coming, who's going in the neighborhood, right? And especially in an isolated, little, not too much too isolated, but a little outside of the city of Santa Fe, of course. So, but the fact is that weeks went by, and nobody knew that what was going on there. So, in a high-profile case like this, of course, uh, there's going to be many opinions. There are going to be many experts are going to give their opinions from far away. They're going to be in consulting basis mostly. They want to give you, from, who knows, from Boston, experts in Boston, expert in LA. There'll be, online, or video call, or whatever the situation might be. They'll be in a consulting basis, giving their opinions. But why not put the boots on the ground? Bring the best experts. Do they have the budget? Is it a budget issue that will help? I'm not saying that they can. They're not able to do the job at the county sheriff's office, but why not bring in the best of the best in the states, right? Of course, the best of the best are in academia. I mean, in Ivy League colleges. They're teaching. Just look at this gentleman from the Jacksonville State University. Remember the Jeffrey Dahmer case? Jeffrey Dahmer, this guy who committed this heinous crime in the Florida area, and of course, in that case, many people were wondering. They had, for days, people were really sick in their stomach in Florida, and not just Florida, with all the surrounding states, because it was one of the biggest mystery of the 20th century. I mean, that was in the 1980s. That this gentleman, I mean, well, he was executed after all. He was responsible for 15 or 16 deaths, young women who were disappearing. They had to profile. One of the most unsolved mystery that went for a long time until they caught him. Of course, they caught the guy. That was Jeffrey Dahmer, case, which is very much that's a really high profile case, of course, where 16 young women disappeared and was he was kidnapping all this and cutting them off in pieces. I mean, they were disappearing, and all beautiful young women, college kids, college age kids, and mostly university students. This happened in Florida too, northern Florida. That was the big case that was put the country on hold. There were many people wondering for days. Of course, after what happened with Jeffrey Dahmer, there were movies and this and that, all kinds of things went on in Hollywood about that case, and hopefully it didn't profit. Of course, he was executed at the end, but so In that case, for instance, many of the best experts from academia, I mean, from Ivy League colleges, they gave their opinion. Some of them they hire, they put the boots on the ground to investigate the situation with Jeffrey Dahmer, and of course that costs money. I mean, if you're gonna bring like a major league type experts in this field, that costs money in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, of course. They're not going to move from wherever they are. I mean, they live in New York or Boston. These experts are not going to move just that could be the cost of airplane tickets, a four-star hotel where they're going to be staying for weeks, and who knows, maybe for months, and they make big money, good money. Okay, so does the Santa Fe County office, the coroners, the examiners, they have the budget to hire extra set of well-known experts in this field to solve the case? Of course, if there is a will, there is a way, right? So the city council of the Santa Fe city council and the mayor's office, of course, this is all run by the city of Santa Fe. They should, why not, right? If there is a way, will, there is a way. And this could trigger, of course, a faster pace of the investigation, because so far it's been only like by little, any new detail about it by drops, Of course, I'm not saying that they've been, deficient, but it's been really, it's moving. But of course, the testing of the blood testing part, the testing they had done in the scene in the house where they found, right, the items they took to be analyzed by lab, in the by lab, it takes time. That's what the whole thing. The bottom line is it takes time. It may take a month, 2 months, or maybe even more. See, the more new detail comes to light, the investigation is expanding more, and it can become a costly investigation, sometimes in the millions of dollars. So at the end of the day, it's about money. How clear, how effective, how efficient this investigation will go. At the end of the day, it's going to be about money, about budget. Do they have the budget? Well, let's ask them. Do they have the budget to conduct the resources? It depends on the resources the county, the Santa Fe County has to conduct this and to have so the public can be satisfied at the end of this situation. But some of the things, like I said before, if you have a children or mom and dad, that is normal to just get in touch or get in contact just for maybe Thanksgiving Day or Christmas or just once every couple of months. Is that considered normal? That's a big reflection today about how our really close to our families are. How can we have, since when we have lost that warm heart that could be warm Christian heart that can be in each one of us, to reach out, to the elder, to our elderly parents, whether they're wealthy or not. This issue is not about being celebrity or not, or being wealthy or not. This issue is about how we can take care better of our elderly parents. So I will leave it with that reflection today. And if you like this content, please, if you haven't subscribe. If you really like, give thumbs up on. Thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next video. Take care, and may God bless you all. Thanks. Bye bye.